in here all night?
We're recording from inside a real haunted location. The ghost gear set, the veil thin. Expect raw energy, real conversation, and maybe a few voices that don't belong to the living. This isn't just a podcast, it's a summoning. Welcome to Ghostcraft Divination. I'm Ashley, your coven mistress, and today I'm joined by my sisters of the craft.
Hi, I'm Christy, co-owner of All Saints Lunatic Asylum, teach anthropology, and I am an archaeologist.
And also a paranormal investigator.
And now I am a paranormal investigator, trying to be.
And today we're joined by a very special guest.
My name is Mandy. I am a psychic medium. I am the other half. Oh my God. See that?
Landed on my nose.
That fly.
It landed on my nose.
As soon as you start talking, it's like, that's you.
We're going to kill that fly before this podcast is over.
I am the other half of Ghost Club Paranormal. We are over on YouTube and you can follow us on all socials. Yeah, today I'm just hanging out with my sisters of the Coven. Yay, super excited.
This is our first ever podcast episode and we are inside of Room B340 on the Queen Mary.
Look at us.
Christy and I have never slept here. Have you
never
slept
slept
up
in this room.
here?
Not in this room.
So this is all our first night, staying overnight in this room. So it'll be fun.
It'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting. I hope so.
So we are going to talk about everything Room B340. Now, this room is notoriously haunted, famous.
That's the story.
Anyone that likes ghosts probably knows about this room. You definitely know about the ship, but this is supposedly the most haunted room on the ship.
I've even heard most haunted hotel room
Ever?
ever. I've
Really?
heard that.
Have you heard that?
At least most notoriously.
Yeah, I've heard that. I think that's a crazy bold statement
I do.
to make.
It's
Talk
one that
about
cannot be measured and really proven.
We'll talk.
Exactly.
We're not just sleeping here tonight. We are locking ourselves in. We're not going to leave or explore the ship, and this is where we're going to be until checkout.
But not with this fly.
We'll kill him.
Where this fly will be dead.
This is going to make me go crazy before the end of the night, and that's terrifying. Already being locked in a room, and then you have this fly.
And you know what? He just stays right here. There's a whole room he could go to, but he's just circling. And he's already landed on my nose once.
Here, be my friend. Come.
Ghostcraft Divination, where we get together at a haunted location and watch insects crawl around for an hour and talk about it. We have the Paralight here with us, and that's going to flash up as a rainbow when somebody's here communicating with us. So we do invite the spirits of this room to join in on the conversation. And maybe if we get some of the facts about this room wrong, you can let us know.
You might also hear some voices that are not paranormal, but they're actually people. There's a ghost tour that keeps bringing people to our room, and
We got to work with that.
we're going to have to work with that. So
I already scared a couple that came up to the room and was a complete lunatic.
she whipped the curtain open.
Yeah, they're like, can we come in? I'm like, you don't want to come in here. I'm crazy.
She truly did that.
I don't know why, but I did.
I think that's the vibe of tonight. Just that crazy
Energy.
energy. Mm-hmm.
And being locked in here, until checkout.
Oh, yeah.
We're not leaving, which is really hard because it's the Queen Mary and it's so tempting to go explore.
You're right. Christy is turning on the Spirit Talker. What we love about the Spirit Talker is it's very accessible for everyone. You can get it and do some ghost hunting. Just know that everything it says does not mean a ghost is making it say it. So keep that in mind.
True story.
Do you have any thing you want to talk about the Spirit Talker? Because it's very, should you use it? Should you not use it?
Oh, I love phone apps. I don't care what anyone says. I think that you just have to take everything with a grain of salt, have some common sense when using any device really, but especially apps that have a database or anything like that. They are designed to work with the energy around it, the energy field around it, spirit, but also it's also designed to, kind of put out stuff randomly as well. So, just pay attention to what's being said. If it lines up with the conversation, great. If it doesn't, then obviously
You write it off.
Yeah.
I do have to say that when I first learned about these, I was in New Orleans and it was a paranormal investigator that told me about the apps on the phones and she explained how they worked. So the next day I downloaded it and I experimented with it. like we do, anthropologists. And I took it with me and I held it up. I took pictures of bikes and certain items. And then when I put the spirit talker down, because I was checking to see if maybe the camera, you know, and it was picking up. And I talked about bicycles a lot. And it never once said it never said anything about bicycles. So I was kind of running it through some tests to see if we could sort of manipulate the material.
Vibe of the room. What are you vibing?
I'm just like I don't know, just like a little edgy, just like a tad edgy. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
Not from the fly.
not well, you. I'm just a tad edgy. I haven't visually, well, okay, let me rephrase that. Before coming here, I felt like I was picking up on a female.
The animals.
Oh God, would that include flies?
Okay, so that goes with what I was going to say. I was picking up on this energy of a female spirit. It just seemed very like nail biting, like anxious. But it was giving like corner of the room, like,
Ooh.
it just, I don't know. It was like almost like straight jacket, just kind of like, I don't know. I really didn't like it. No offense to the spirit. And then as soon as we got in here, we have these flies. And I know flies, it could just be flies, but they also represent, you know, lower level things as well. And I don't know if that's the energy that's making me nervous. I haven't seen her yet, but I definitely heard the female voice when we walked in here, heard a voice when they were talking, a disembodied voice. I can feel the energy, but I haven't seen it yet.
Should the offering tonight be an anxiety pill?
Maybe.
Because I got some.
We're all going to need one. I think it's going to be a long night.
But are you thinking that it's something that maybe followed us or is roaming around the ship, or is it something that's attached to this?
Yeah, I don't think it's attached to this room.
Well, what's interesting about that is last night was Christy's haunted asylum.
Yeah.
And so you're talking about someone being anxious in a straitjacket. And I was actually I was at the haunt yesterday and I made a joke like, oh, I'm not one of the characters, but I am the girl that is talking to a doll. And I'm just being myself. Like I 100% would be
In an asylum.
if it was the 20s. And even maybe right now. But I even sat with Philip on the little bench that they had there. And I kind of like hunched over and I was like kind of whispering to him. And I do have social anxiety.
I was really proud of her, though. She was out there in the lobby with people.
Is coming forward because she's sensing.
Connected to everything. Yeah, I can tell you, like, kind of right off the bat, it feels like majority of what we're going to communicate with tonight is not directly related to this room.
That's what I was wondering. Because I think you guys would have said something right when we walked in.
Yeah, I didn't get like a feeling when we came in. It was cool walking in here and they had a tour outside and everyone looked at us like we were the coolest ghost hunters they've ever seen.
But
We are.
it's nice to be acknowledged by the public.
They were like clapping when we were walking to the room.
Yeah, which we can talk about that because I do believe that this room has activity, but I don't think that the activity is based in this room.
Right. Because the whole ship. I mean, every room we've ever stayed in, we've gotten stuff.
I'm glad we're kind of all on the same page. I have selected a couple of the most famous folklore stories.
Oh, cool.
So we can kind of read about it and, you know.
Lover. That's Philip. Where's Philip? Oh, yeah, we need to mention Philip and Chester over there.
Yes, our very, very special guests.
They're bonding.
We have Philip here.
He doesn't like wearing shoes any more than I do.
We have Chester here as well.
With this banana.
These guys are very, very experienced ghost hunters at this time.
And this is their first time working together. So we'll see how they do.
Chester was there the night Philip was conceived.
That's true.
That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I say conceived as in we placed Philip on a portal and a doll entered him. And that sounds wrong too.
I mean, it is Philip, and
It is what it is.
Philip. We're gonna have to get a little stricter with Philip.
Yeah, he needs it's
been a little-
2025.
Yeah, we are.
We love you too.
It said lover, and then it said you are loved.
Is that Philip energy?
Oh, and then it says satanic. So
You gotta always bring it back to Satan. Now remember, you come for the ghost, but you stay for the blasphemy.
You know, so far, almost everything that's come through has been more negative.
100%.
and I mean, yeah, even lover could be.
Are you sensing negative?
I mean, honestly, like,
I'm from the 1500s.
Okay, that's, yeah.
But I just told Philip it's 2025.
Philip, you have something you'd like to say?
Are you from the 1500s?
I'm not picking up on anything negative. However, the fly situation, and I know you guys, I'm not trying to make something out of nothing here, but the fly situation to me feels sus.
I read this interesting book about how you perceive dreams. And like dreams are there to tell you messages, and it's your physical body communicating with your spirit. It said, do this fun activity where you look around your waking life at different symbols that you're sensing and think of it as if it was a dream. And so you saying, you know, about the flies, there is symbolic. Maybe is that how just mediums look at the world? Like everything's a dream?
Yeah, we do. We do. We live in symbolism, unfortunately. Flies. Okay, so to me, flies do in certain situations represent death. They represent lower energy, all of that.
Because they fly around shit.
I'm taking my time.
Perfect. So in certain situations, I do relate it to that. For example, just recently, I added a new doll to my collection. I believe is being haunted by a female spirit. And as soon as I picked up the doll, I was in a store out of nowhere. A fly came literally out of nowhere and just started attacking me, like dive bombing on me as I was holding the doll.
Oh, God.
And I was like, fun. And sure enough, I take this doll home and I had for 3 days straight just nightmares, just one after the other. So like to me, that's very symbolic for something that's like a little bit more lower, a little bit more negative. And, but you know, that's just.
So you're dealing with that right now?
That's what I'm dealing with. Well, I think we're on okay terms. I think. So to me, just the fact that there's just like, I mean, granted, it could have come from outside, you know, there are all these logical things, but it's us.
Yeah.
But yes, we see the world in symbolism. We do.
I like that.
Well, I'll have to tell you about my last dream.
I love analyzing people's dreams. It's my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Like a freaking movie.
Recently just started getting dreams back after you two helped me get rid of my thing. So yeah, let's talk about it later.
Yes, we are ready for the lore.
Okay, so these...
No.
Shut up. Oh, it's actually a door there.
Prior to the remodel, they used to have the top open.
You can just peek in.
Man here.
A man here.
No, there's a man out there.
But yeah, so people could see into the room.
This is not our first time staying in an expensive room here. But I have to say, I like this more than the King Charles suite.
Yeah.
Because like this little section is so nice. It's smaller, but I like it a lot more. Even if you're not into ghosts, this is a great place to stay.
It's a really nice room. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
Came with a crystal ball.
I did.
We don't know what to do with it, but.
Oh, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
We'll mess with that later.
All right.
I'm sure Mandy knows too. She does mirror work. It is a reflective surface.
Yeah, it can get really weird in here.
Oh, it's going to get weird.
So Mandy does mirror work. It's a part of her mediumship, and I would love to have you back sometime. And I want to deep dive in Mandy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mirror thing's crazy. That was unexpected. That just kind of like one day they were like, you're going to do this. And I said, cool.
Your guides taught you.
Yeah. I'm just going to say this. A Queen Mary, like, okay, this is a whole different story. What's it say?
Okay.
Gruesome.
It's a gruesome story?
I have a very long, in-depth history with the Queen Mary itself. I've done a lot of work here.
Oh.
Yes, I have. I actually filmed a short documentary here on the ghosts, and I have some footage I can show you guys that I captured. Yeah. So I spent 6 months on this ship, just filming, and then, of course, just what happens whenever something like this, when you do something like this, all the footage got corrupted. So I lost everything except for I was able to salvage like 2 clips. So I had to scratch the documentary. It was an amazing experience, and it actually got me doing this, really what catapulted me doing ghost hunting full time.
What's the documentary about? Was it ghosts?
It was about like the Queen Mary, like by day and by night, and just the differences between what that looks like on the ship and how that feels. And it was a whole thing. We spent a really long time. This was with Captain Roy, who's unfortunately passed away now, but we spent a lot of time working with him and interviewing him. Spent a lot of time with Matt, who used to run the ghost tours way back when. And yeah, we spent a lot of time here filming and stuff, and everything just naturally, right?
But now here you are.
Yes.
Where you're meant to be.
Yes. And so I know this ship. I love this ship. I'm very close with the ship and some of the spirits on this ship. But this room, to me, has always felt forced. So, and I hate that because the ship is so haunted, but this room is so forced.
I'm totally fine admitting that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to ham up this room to you guys. None of us are. If it's not, you know, really haunted, we'll let you know. And I think you'll know too if more of our spirits come through instead of the spirits of this room. We'll really kind of tell you, because we've been here many a times, and the spirits here, they have stuff they want to say.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of like how it unfolds tonight. I do think that we'll get activity for sure. I mean, the whole ship's haunted.
Exactly. Exactly.
But like, even like looking at these mirrors, I'm like agitated about the mirrors. Like they're like,
They're trying to do.
they're making me, it's making me angry.
They're trying to do a portal here.
They're forcing something.
Yeah.
And that always, whenever you try to force something, that always creates a very different kind of energy in a space.
I felt like that with the Clown Motel.
Oh, I hate that kind of energy.
Yeah.
I hate talking to that.
I felt like it generated, like it's almost like we're pulling it in here.
And nothing against this room. This is it's a beautiful room. I'm super excited to be here. We're going to go for it. But just being honest, like you have to. It's like, you know, I can't sit here and be like, oh my God. No, this energy feels forced and it's making me angry. Look, it's already happening. We're in here all night.
Okay, are you guys ready for the lore
Yeah.
part of our podcast? These are real ghost stories gathered from guest reports and decades of Queen Mary's legend. Some are documented, some have changed over time, but every one of them comes from someone who swore it happened to them. So the first one is going to be the woman in the mirror. This is Mandy's story to get pissed off. Are you guys ready? Let's go. There's a story they tell about Room B340. A warning, really. They say, never look too long into the bathroom mirror after midnight. Not in that room. It's always the same time, 3:19. When the ship is still, the water outside feels heavier than it should. That's when she appears, a woman, dressed like someone pulled from a grainy black and white photo, 1930s, curls, a dark dress, eyes sunken, like she's been weeping for years. What do you feel about that description? What are you feeling? What's that face?
I know. That is like,
I don't know.
Breaking wheel.
She doesn't scream, she just stares. People say the crying starts first, soft, almost gentle, like someone moaning in another room. But it always leads to the mirror. And once you see her, you can't unsee her. Some swear she mouths something, a name, a warning, a plea. But whatever it is, it doesn't pass through the glass. And when you turn around, she's never there, only in the reflection. The mirror fogs, even when the air is cold, the faucet drips, though the handles are bone dry. No one knows who she is. Some think she died there during the war years, forgotten in an isolation room. Others think she was never alive at all, but all agree on one thing. If you see her, don't speak, don't blink, and whatever you do, don't look back at the mirror, not twice. That gave me goosebumps, though.
Interesting. Ooh.
it's like a Bloody Mary.
Do I think that there's potentially a woman that shows up in the mirror? Yes. I don't know if you know kind of like the lore, but the ship really changed after COVID. Okay. Like the way that the ship was haunted prior to COVID, it's not that way anymore. Like it's changed dramatically. And I truly believe that this ship being shut down for 3 years, I think it was almost 3 years, being shut down that length of time really with the energy.
Using this.
That lack of, like the Queen Mary, the ship itself thrives off of people. It thrives off of people. This is what keeps it alive, right? And it had no people for such a long time that I genuinely feel like a lot of spirits moved on, a lot of spirits changed, other things were able to come forward and step out because, there was nothing, that positive, continuous positive energy was no longer there.
Interesting.
This woman in the mirror, I'm seeing that being a thing prior to that, but I'm not seeing it anymore. Yes. I don't know how to explain that.
Okay.
I'm seeing a potentially like, and it doesn't need to be exactly this. I don't know if I want to say this room specifically, but I am seeing a woman in a mirror being a thing, like actually being a thing, but not anymore.
Okay.
And I think that shift happened when the ship shut down.
This is I'm containing my story space because it's going to relate to what Mandy just said. Remember what Mandy just said when I'm telling my story. Yeah. Just remember that because what you're just saying goes along with what I'm going to say.
Does it?
Yeah.
So stick around till the end of the podcast.
Because it's going to...
Because Christy's going to shatter.
Yeah. No, I'm going to relate to what Mandy just said.
Well, no. And so then that's another thing too, is one thing that I'm struggling with, which I have to think about, or not think, I have to feel into it a little bit, is okay, so like as a psychic medium, this happens a lot. You go into a location and then you can pick up on stories, and then you have to decipher, are those stories real because Spirit's telling you that, or is it real because so many people have said this story has happened
And made it real.
Right.
and made it real.
Manifested.
Like sort of an imprint, because imprints can be left on buildings and locations and things like
That's what
that.
I was thinking about Clown Motel. Same thing.
Yeah. So I have to, this image that I'm seeing of a woman in the mirror prior to COVID, prior to the shutdown of the ship, is that really, was there really a woman in the mirror? Or is it an imprint from the stories that have been told? So I have to fill into that. And that's always really interesting. But it's been a long time since I've been in this position. And I'm really happy about it, because this is such an important thing to talk about, is being able to recognize when something's a story and when something's real.
Yes.
So,
And it comes up time and time again in investigations. And I don't think everyone knows how to tell the difference, or even thinks about like, oh, this is something that's been created.
and that's a huge thing that I try to talk about, is that's where training as a medium is so important.
Right here.
You're not going anywhere.
We're locked in.
That's where training is so important, and having that, like, just being able to practice a lot and work with people who've done this for a long time, because if you like, otherwise you're not going to know that can even be a thing, and how to decipher between the two. So I don't want to sit here and push this story when I at the moment can't even tell you. And that right there is already like a red flag. The fact that I can't even say like for sure this is Spirit that's showing me that like there was a woman in the mirror, like,
Yeah.
So
Interesting. Well, would you like to read the next?
yeah.
The knock that won't stop.
They say room B340 doesn't like to be ignored, that if you spend the night without acknowledging what's already there, it'll try to get your attention, and it starts with a knock. It always happens after midnight. Everything happens after midnight, apparently.
There we go again.
Give me a man after midnight.
Hey, give me a knock after midnight.
Jesus. The security guard did say it does get
After midnight.
after, he said 3 to
Actually,
6.
He did say 3 to 6.
3 to 6 is the most
We're
haunted
here to
time, is what he said.
We'll be there.
At 3:19, we're going to be in there looking for...
Yeah.
We'll talk.
Yeah, someone's going to be locked in the bathroom.
Ooh, a solo.
A solo.
I kind of feel like it needs to be Mandy because she's our mirror gal.
Yeah, you are the mirror
I
girl.
feel like it's got to be Mandy.
What if she takes over my... Oh, I was going to say, what if she takes over my body and then I lose myself?
Stay tuned.
Follow your dreams.
Dreams. Follow your dreams.
Stop.
If it goes in my mouth, I'm going to tell you right now, so much drama.
That's the start of the possession. It flies into your mouth.
I have a fear. And if it does,
No, you're not allowed to leave.
no, I'm going to go running down the hall screaming.
You're not allowed to leave.
You're not allowed. I in my mouth.
You're not allowed.
window.
At least you just kill it if it's in your mouth. At least like chew it first.
Oh, God.
Hum nom 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 nom.
I used to eat ants when I was little. I ate ants. I just popped in my mouth. I ate them like popcorn. Don't ask me why.
Tell me more about your weirdness.
Funniest memory was going up the stairs with my mom. We lived in apartments, and I was little, and I was carrying.
You were a child.
Child.
And I was carrying the groceries, so I didn't have a hand to grab it. And, you know, the little handrail was right where my face was. That's how small I was. And there was this ant, and he was so juicy and fat, and he was walking on that handrail, and I was like, And my mom would get mad at me, so she was in front of me. So I just went over.
Please feel me.
And I sucked it off the handrail.
Oh my
And my
god.
mom heard the sound.
Well, probably because you're sucking a handrail. You probably got sick after that. She's like, eat ants all you want, but keep your mouth off the handrail.
And she turns around and yelled at me, and I'm like, I ate ants.
You didn't just eat them, you slurped them off the rail.
What are the anteaters called? What's their real name?
Anteaters.
That's their name?
They're just called anteaters. That's me.
I know there's like an official
Antelope.
Something like this. Antelope.
anteater.
That's what it's got to be.
Antelope.
And a rail sucker.
Oh, we're never going to get through this podcast. All right, go.
You're gonna have a lot of editing. 3 loud bangs, not playful, not subtle, the kind of pounding that rattles the lock. Woo. But when you check the hallway, there's no one there. No footsteps, no shadow, just the long, silent corridor stretching out in both directions.
Okay, stop.
Shut the up. Why is somebody knocking on the door while we're reading the knocking song? I'm not even humoring that with a look. They're there. They're talking.
Yeah, they're tapping.
Book.
Oh, they can see the light. They're talking about our lighting.
What weird timing.
But what weird
That's
timing
interesting.
for them to tap. Okay. She's never going to get through this tapping story.
No.
We're not meant to.
It's like,
It's a lame story.
That is very, very interesting timing.
yeah.
I don't like that.
That is very.
Yeah.
I don't believe in coincidences. So
Get the out. I don't either. And she rags me all the time.
It's so funny because she says, I don't believe in coincidence. Well,
Most
some
of the
things
time.
are, but
It's very specific.
no, I don't believe in coincidences.
yeah, just like little things.
That maybe don't have a particular reason why two things are happening at a certain time. There's not a particular reason. So by coincidence, no. But two things that line up, sometimes not necessarily for the same reason, but they still line up, yes. But coincidence is the wrong word for that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like accidentally they line up, but it's not a coincidence. It's meant to be.
Yeah.
There's always a reason. Don't you
Synchronicities.
agree? I mean, if you don't agree in coincidences, it's like, yes, things will happen that maybe don't necessarily mean anything, or they don't mean anything to us. They could mean something to someone else.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on with the knocking.
So security gets called like clockwork, and every time they review the tapes.
There's tape.
I doubt that.
What? Every time they say the same thing. No one walked past your door. There's nothing on the footage. Maybe it was a dream. But the knocking always comes back. Some say it's the spirit of a man who died in that room. Someone who went mad and tried to claw his way out. Others
I'm
think,
upset.
I'm upset.
Oh, I don't like that.
oops. Others think it's older, a presence that doesn't want out. It wants in. And if you answer the door, no one really knows what happens because the ones who do never tell the story themselves.
So, what's really interesting is like
I'm very close by.
we're talking about these stories, and what we're talking about, it does bring up things that go with what we're talking about. So, it's almost like we're calling them in by talking about these.
Yes.
Legends.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Feel free to close that door anytime while we're here.
What
If
door?
there's spirits here. The door right there, back there.
Oh, yes, please.
Feel free to close it.
Oh, no, Mandy, don't.
No.
If it goes in your mouth, I'm probably going to still run. No. I'll be like, no.
I'll eat it.
Yeah, if it does, let's all agree that if it goes in our mouths, we just swallow it. Because then at least it's gone. Right?
Deal?
It's one less fly.
Deal?
No, it's
If
a
it's
little.
in your
It's like a little gnat thing. Nope.
You have to swallow it.
No.
I forgot I had this.
Don't rush off.
Don't rush off. I just said I was going to run.
You can't. You're on lockdown.
I'm on lockdown. They're gonna stop me. They're gonna have to body slam me to the ground. Because if a fly goes in my mouth, I'm going out in the hall. I'm running and screaming. If there's a tour, I'm tearing through them. They'll think I'm running from.
No.
Has that thing gone off at all?
I just turned it on, though.
Oh, okay.
But it's going off.
They're gonna think I'm running from the ghost, and it's like, no, it's not a ghost. It's a fly.
But that could be manipulated by a ghost.
Poltergeist. Remember that priest in Poltergeist?
The biggest legend of Room B340. And it's one we haven't discussed, not ghost stories, but we're going to go a little more crime.
Crime. Oh, I just zeroed out.
Surgery.
Interesting. There's a violent one.
Ooh.
One that turned this stateroom into a sealed tomb for decades.
I just got really cold.
It's freezing.
Yeah, it is. My feet are cold.
My hands are like frozen.
We're gonna all know that I'm the only one not wearing shoes, so my feet are cold. They're cold. They got
Touch
cold.
my
You
hand.
said that. Oh,
Touch my hand.
Yeah.
no, but my feet got cold right then.
You're kind of...
Oh, well, not there. It's my like the tips of my fingers.
Oh, yeah. Way, way, way colder.
My hands are always warm though because of the electricity.
Must be nice. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of weird just sitting down and talking about these things that are legends that we don't necessarily believe. But if you think about it, if this was created from people talking about these stories all the time, we are calling it forward, that energy that none of us enjoy. So I don't feel good. I don't like how I feel. But here we go. We're going deeper in.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Do it. Yo.
They say it happened in the 1960s during one of Queen Mary's final transatlantic crossing. A man traveling alone in the third class suddenly snapped.
She pushed?
Somebody pushed him to snap, maybe.
We can do that. We're good at that.
That's really, really sus. Okay, keep going.
Catching anything for you?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling something. I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling something with this story. So I'm going to just
Take it in, and anytime I'll stop and we can talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like how I feel. But for the spirit here, that's, let us know if I got any of the things wrong or you want to add a little story to it as well. So something came over him. He attacked 2 women on board. And
I don't mean
killed
to interrupt you, but I just saw like a white light go across the painting back there to the right. And I'm just seeing everything's closed.
Yeah, I have like energy just shooting up my feet right now. I feel so weird, you guys.
My feet are icy cold.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead and repeat what you just...
You want me to repeat it?
Yeah, repeat it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He does too.
So interesting though, that said, before that, it said she pushed.
Yeah.
And so this story is saying that something came over him. He attacked 2 women
Yes.
on board and killed them.
Oh my God.
So maybe like she pushed him to do it, is what he's saying.
Yeah, but is it a physical she or is it like a spiritual she pushed him?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Let's find out. Okay, so security restrained him, and instead of locking him in the brig, they confined him to his own stateroom. That room, it would later become part of what is now known as Room B340.
Yeah, because this was 2 separate...
1700s.
This was 2 separate rooms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they... No?
Yeah, no,
Wasn't it? What didn't they did something like there was some sort of like wall or something and they took it down and then they made made it.
because they said these were never actually rooms, or at least one of them wasn't.
Yeah, I remember on a tour they said that this was like split is not original.
And it doesn't have any of the original wood or anything.
So is this story true, the spirit that is talking to us?
Well, I don't trust me.
I
don't know what I'm
wouldn't.
talking about.
I wouldn't.
Okay, interesting. They posted a guard outside the door, but during the night, the man began to scream. He said someone was in there with him. He said something was trying to kill him. He pounded on the door, begging for help. The guard thought he was trying to kick them. He didn't open the door.
Well, that kind of goes with what you
Yeah.
just said. Was it a woman that pushed, or was it a spirit? And so he's in here and he's going crazy now.
that female spirit that I keep picking up on who kind of's losing it a little bit.
Oh, I got chills.
And now we got the flies and all that stuff. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
No?
All right. Well, correct us then, please.
I don't
My whole life was here.
Oh, shit.
That's an interesting one. I've never heard that one before.
I'm getting super weird vibes. And I don't want to go there because, our conspiracy theory on what's happening on the ship with the sex trafficking.
The next morning, when the ship reached port, they found the man dead inside. What did it say? Oh, and here's the part that chills me. They say his injuries didn't match suicide, that the body was so violently torn apart, no one could explain how he'd done it to himself.
That's pretty specific. And is there any documentation to back that up?
Is there any documentation on any of it?
That's the problem with hotel deaths.
And it's the problem with deaths in general. There's so many.
Jason.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Was Jason your name? Is that who the story's about? Is this a real crime? A cover-up? Or
Power.
or just a story told too many times to be ignored? All we know is Room B340 was sealed for over 30 years after that. Locked, untouched, too many complaints, too many guests checking out before sunrise.
There's a curse.
Okay.
There's a curse.
Yeah, sounds like it.
This room is cursed.
And then Disney got involved, and Christy is going to tell us about Disney.
So here's my take on it. From approximately 1989 to 1992, Walt Disney leased this property with the intent to build a theme park. It was going to be like a aquarium, sort of nautical theme park. He did a lot of damage actually during that period of time to the ship.
I've been here 600 years.
But one of the things that he did was he wanted to monopolize on the haunted ship history that already came, back it already had a history of being haunted. So he wanted to monopolize on that, and he created something called the Haunted Passages Tour, where he would take you on a tour similar to what they have now, and he would take guests around the ship and say, someone died here, and this is where a gentleman was, crushed or whatever in the doors.
Not me.
And at the end of the tour, he would end up in Room B340. And what he did in typical Walt Disney fashion was he created a haunted space. It's going crazy while I'm talking. He created a haunted space so that when the tour was over, you would end up here in B340. And what he did was he did the Walt Disney style rig, where he rigged the floors to creak, for example. You would hear voices, would see images in the mirror.
But was this ever really a thing that happened?
So yes. Somewhere around 1990, he started the tours, and then it was all closed down in 1992. He lost the lease, and he was really angry about it. The thing is, for people that took that tour, and it wasn't that long ago, for people who took that tour, this is where they would have ended up. They would have seen, the lights would flicker, you would hear creaking, you'd hear voices, you'd see images in the mirror.
Did they know that it was fake?
That I don't know, but to me, it seems like it would be kind of something. Did they know? Did they want to know? Did they just get excited by it? Things were a little different back then. I did a haunted tour on the Queen Mary in, I'd say probably 99 or 2000. We did a tour, and it was very different the way they did the tours back then. It was very showmanship. They had like fog machines, and they'd fill the swimming pool with fog, and you'd walk through there, and it was kind of hard to see. And they did a whole showmanship thing. And, you want it to be haunted, so you kind of believe what you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's a certain amount of showmanship on it. So if people are coming to this thing for a tour, even for a couple of years, and they're ending up in this room, a lot of the things that you're saying, that people say here are related to that. So when you're saying it's kind of weird, this image in the mirror, who's not say you're picking up on Walt Disney's damn image on the mirror? That you saw a woman in the mirror because other people saw women in the mirror because there was an image being.
Yeah, exactly.
But think about this. What came first? Because it already had a history of being haunted. So did he take those stories
And make them.
and make them come to light?
And I mean, he did a Haunted Passages story because the ship was already considered to be haunted. So he definitely took something around with it.
I thought it was just a conspiracy, though. You looked it up and people actually walked the tour.
There was a tour. There was a tour that he did.
Really?
And the room was rigged for certain things to happen. They're not supposedly they've all been removed now. So
Yes.
so they've all been removed.
What do you think about
I
that?
think we would know the difference.
Did you know about that?
No. No, I did not know about that. And it makes sense because, like I've kind of said from the beginning, like this room feels forced. It feels like there's a lot of egregor thought manifestation, going on in this room specifically.
Us?
Yeah. There are thousands of spirits on this ship, but this room, it's like it's been forced to be something that almost like they didn't even need to do that because, like, it just like the ship's.
But it's Disney. Yeah. That's what he's going to do.
No, and that's fair, and and they want to like do something fun and like all of that. But do I think that people are having experiences in this room? Sure, but I think a lot of it too is just kind of like, we pick this room to be the haunted room.
And now we know why.
And so now we're going to shove all this stuff down.
And charge a shit ton for it. Let's be real. The same as the suite that we got that had more room in it, but I actually do really like this room
really
more.
nice. And it's got the history of...
But it's a cool room. It's a cool room. Like, I don't... And that's... it is what it is. We see this a lot. We see this at so many locations where the locations will already be haunted, but then, one story leads into another story. Next thing you know, you have these stories being told and creating an energy that maybe necessarily wasn't there. Yeah. So that woman in the mirror, it's like, I don't genuinely like.
Well, you're sitting there saying, I'm listening to you, like, you're so confused by it. You're like, I've seen a woman there, but it was before COVID, which obviously would have been. And then you're like, but it just didn't seem right. You weren't saying, there's definitely a ghost, but she's not here now. You're saying there's something weird. So I'm sitting there thinking, she doesn't know that they did a woman in the mirror. So there was a time when there was a projection of a mirror. Yeah, it's almost like you picked up on what people saw. She was there.
No, and I appreciate you validating that because that's the hard part is deciphering between it, and it takes time to like sit with that and feel into that and like, okay, like, do I really believe what's being said right now?
Yeah.
Am I seeing it because so many people genuinely see it, or am I seeing it because it's been forced so freaking much?
And that's really what you were seeing.
And it's like, so it's
the force of that, of people saying that, could have created something that does that.
I've been here 200 years.
And then you get into the idea of if there is such a deep intelligence with supernatural, if there are ghosts here and the ghosts are listening, and this is something that's being manifested over and over and over and over and over. If I was a ghost and I was haunting this ship, which I certainly would love to do,
You'll step up to the plate.
I will hear that and be like, you know what? Let's see if we can figure out how to do that. And I would hang out here because I know people come in here trying to get through to me.
And you would take that energy that they give to you.
Yeah. So, I mean, is that something that's really implying something really highly intelligent? But if the ship is as haunted as, it really does seem to be, then why not? And this is a perfect location. And if you're not, into like hanging out in different places, you can be here. This is going to be
You'd be a shut-in.
No.
Okay, I'm totally wrong, apparently.
You're wrong.
No, I think you're right, but I also think there's limitations to who can come in here and who can't. And I genuinely think that's from the energy that's, how do I explain it? Okay. It's almost like the energy's been pushed and forced so much into this room that it's actually created this weird boundary. And it's like some spirits can cross into here and some can't.
Oh,
and that's why you looked at the mirrors and you were like, those are making me mad because they're not really going to let anything in.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. They don't feel, this is weird.
It feels like a fake mirror.
It feels, yes, that's what I was getting. What I wanted to get at was they feel fake to me. I feel like I'm in a prop room.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it was at one time.
I want to do mirror work, but
that doesn't feel like a real mirror.
These don't feel like real mirrors. It's the weirdest thing. Like, this is like a total, like,
oh my God, I see what you're saying.
It's just a fake mirror.
It does. I see what you mean. It's like
that's a whole nother thing too.
Yeah,
you've got
open your mind.
When you
though.
go to Minnie's house.
Oh yeah. I mean, listen. I can make anything work. I can make anything. But these are very like it's making me angry because they're very prop mirrors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's like when you walk into Mickey's house or Minnie's house,
Yeah,
it's just in Disneyland where it looks.
I'm on a set.
Yeah,
And it's not
like that's not real wood. It's that plaster that they use at Disneyland. I see what you're saying.
I mean, listen, I can make it work. I could fucking open up anything anywhere, but these aren't right.
And it's weird because they're facing each other, and they're trying to do that theory of
Open your mind.
of a portal. And remember where we did the Ouija board at the Bellata was in between two mirrors that they placed across from each other, but it did not feel like this.
It will be interesting.
You're making me see mirrors from a very different perspective. I'm excited for this.
Now, I will say, like, I remember, I forgot what room it is that we stayed in. When Jade and I were here, we stayed in one of the suites, and I already forgot. It was a very big suite, had like 2 separate rooms and like all this stuff. But the bathroom, like, there was a spirit in the bathroom, in my bathroom. So I think it's
I am Dexter.
Was it Dexter?
I am Dexter. Oh, God.
When you were telling your story, I felt like something was going like that, and now I'm feeling like a little dizzy.
No.
Uh-oh.
Like a head change.
No.
Like kind of like if you smoked weed and then you just realized you were high.
Yeah.
Except I'm sober, everybody. So it's
that.
Energy change. Yeah, that room was haunted for sure. And there was a spirit in the bathroom, 1,000%. And so, do I think people can see spirits in mirrors? Yes, of course. I don't want to take away. Yeah, I don't want to take that away. I mean, you can see anything in mirrors, but this specific story,
you're calling BS.
yeah.
No, it's real.
Well, we'll find out tonight.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd have to say I've stayed in a couple of suites. The Winston Churchill suite might possibly be. When I stayed there, I was very much a skeptic. And then the one that we stayed in, I don't know, man. Of all the rooms I've ever stayed in, that was the one that did not feel haunted.
The one we stayed in, the big one?
Yeah, the King George or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That one I did not.
What are you talking about? I hardly got any sleep in that
I know,
room.
but you were in the nanny room.
Oh, that room was... I think
that room was creepy. She had the nanny room.
It had like a little offside room.
Made for the nanny. That's what they told us.
I don't really get like overly scared, like I like it. Like if there's a spirit there and I can sense an energy, I usually like it. I just remember laying there.
Again with Patricia.
Patricia,
That always comes out as something either from All Saints, but it's like kind of like a negative spirit that always comes up for me.
Remember we were talking about Patricia and we're like, I didn't do it, Patricia did.
Yes. And that's how we always remember. Because the first time it came up, she made that
so funny,
joke.
though, how like people have like their own names that like mean something to them.
Yeah.
Like when a name comes up, it's like, oh,
here goes Patricia.
for me, well, because like for me, Patricia's a good, because that's my grandmother.
That's
so like
my grandmother too.
Yeah, so whenever I hear it, I'm like, grandma.
It's positive for you.
She went by Pat mostly. So, but it's funny though, because I have names that pop up and I'm like, okay, Gary.
Wait, do you have a Gary or you just threw that out?
Gary is just like it's not like whenever that comes up, it's like,
that's my brother.
okay, let me just rephrase because I just want to make it clear. Could somebody have definitely seen someone in the mirror? Yes.
Yes.
Could it have happened on more than one occasion? Yes. Do I think that's what's happening now? No. Do I think that story is amplified? Yes.
I'm with Mandy.
I feel better.
And you do wonder, it's 3:19. I mean, just to throw it out there to be the devil's advocate, it's 3:19 in the morning. And a lot of people are not used to being awake at 3:19. So if they're standing there in the mirror doing the Bloody Mary thing at 3:19, you could get delirious and you could probably see things that aren't really even there,
For sure.
And your brain is kind of agree.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, how much of that is...
I'm finally onto something.
You have people that explain away what they see, and then they didn't see anything because they explained it away.
Little girl.
And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have people that see normal things. Did a fly go into your mouth?
I know it's on my head.
It really likes Mandy. It really likes you. It landed on my nose once and then left me alone.
Because I'm a demon.
It's going for Mandy.
It's true. Well, you have on the other extreme, people that see things and they don't ever question it, and it's just whatever. And I think it is important to be in that middle state of, is this really what I saw? Am I overtired?
Yeah.
And work through the process sometimes, which we do.
Yeah. And
As investigators, that's why you investigate too.
I mean, obviously, a lot of investigators are here and they're using equipment and they're a little more
Did you see
professional.
the lights
But
just
people
flicker,
do-
or was that? Something
Yes.
like just dimmed in here, weirdly.
But I know people do come here and stay and don't necessarily bring their equipment. That's why they have the Ouija board. Oh, demon. And you just said that. And you just said you were a demon. But I mean, they have a Ouija board. They have stuff set up here for people that are coming in here without equipment. So people come and stay here
Shouldn't be dead.
just to experience it. So yeah, 3:19 in the morning. Oh, I heard that if we go in the mirror at 3:19,
Sometimes you experience because you want.
yeah, I would say that if a paranormal investigator's in there and they see something at 3:19, then I would be a little more like, okay, because they're, they know what they're kind of what they're looking for. But if it's just somebody who's like, oh, it's spooky, let's go stay there, it might get a little bit different. Okay, weird question, but does it have to be that mirror? Can you just be like, I'm a ghost, I'm going to hang out in this mirror or in that mirror? Is it something that you have to be trapped into or locked into? Witchcraft.
Witchcraft put you there?
Yeah, it could be. Some mirrors are more energetic than others. Some mirrors are duds. You ain't gonna get nothing.
Okay.
Some are super open. It's very interesting.
What's the mirror situation at your house?
At my house, I don't have many mirrors at my house.
Because you need a break from it?
Yeah.
Oh, I just picture you having like the most immaculate mirror for some reason.
So I used to. I was like, ooh, I'm going to start adding mirrors to my house. And then I was like, maybe I shouldn't.
You need a break.
I need a break. I do this for a living. I was like, I just have I have like my bathroom mirror and then my get ready mirror. And that is it.
Well,
Nothing
when
else.
eventually you make your way to my humble home, I am working on making a mirror wall just full of mirrors all the way down. And then the other side of the wall, it's a hallway. I'm going to put mirrors there too. So I'm going to be doing this.
I collect antique mirrors. I have them all over my house.
I love that. I love it. I love mirrors, and I love it so much. It's the strangest thing. Again, it literally came out. It was never like this when I was a kid. It came out of one day. It just opened up, and I can't explain it other than like when I see mirrors now, it's like they're not just a mirror. There's like energy to it. So every mirror, it's almost like I'm looking at active portals, and they all look a little bit different. They all pulse different. It's the weirdest thing. I wish I could draw.
So
You can't?
Do you think the fear of like, have you ever gone into a room or like a bathroom in a Mexican restaurant and you really feel like it's a two-way mirror? And there's no reason for it.
Yeah, can you tell a difference from a two-way mirror?
I mean,
You got somebody spying on you.
but I mean, when sometimes you go into a hotel and sometimes you feel it, and then other times you feel like that could be a two-way mirror, and it could be a really nice hotel.
That could be your way of tapping into
Could that be a thing?
a mirror. Like, wait, hold on. Like a genuine two-way mirror, or like a two-way mirror as in like a portal?
Like genuine. Like I feel like somebody's watching me from. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
You guys, we're like super into the podcast vibe right now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about just doing another episode and we talk about mirrors since we're done with that?
Yeah.
All right, you guys. So that's what we think about Room B340. Our opinions might change. The night just started. We have not investigated yet.
Prove me wrong, ghosts.
Please prove us wrong.
Again. She's seeing something moving over
Saw
there.
the light again.
She said it like you had a light change thing happen. Too.
There, I did just now. So you're right. There's something. And yeah, so if you want to see our investigation here, head on over to Ghostcraft Coven YouTube. Because this is Spotify or
happened yet.
Apple, wherever you get your podcast from. Walk on over to YouTube and check out our investigation.
Literally with somebody walking outside. Yeah.
I was thinking what's
going on.
It's like somebody's like protecting, like letting us know. Somebody, yeah, it sounded like spurs or something.
To tune in for our next episode where we talk about mirrors and Mandy's mediumship.
We're going to learn about mirrors because if all of you guys are like me, I don't think there's that much out there. I don't think we understand because I don't even know.
Mirrors are weird. So
I'm excited to hear about this.
Let's get weird.
let's get weird.
Oh, that's so hard for us though. But we'll try.
Because when you're already weird, how do you get
How do you
weird?
get weirder? Yeah.
We can make it happen. All right, you guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next summoning.
Thank you for joining our very first podcast. Woo!
Bye-bye.
Peace out.